The morning light hit my face, and I reached for my phone out of habit. What I saw made my blood run cold. My wedding was in 6 hours. My dress hung on the door. But the messages on my fiance's phone changed everything I thought I knew about love and betrayal. If you've ever trusted the wrong person, this story will hit differently. Stay until the end because the final twist will leave you speechless. And if this story moves you, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Your support means everything. My name is Natalie, and 6 months ago, I thought I was living a fairy tale. I was 28, running a small but respected art gallery in the city, and I'd just gotten engaged to Vincent Castellano. If you don't know the name, he's the kind of man who owns half the skyline. Real estate mogul, billionaire developer, the kind of successful that makes people whisper when he walks into a room. We met at one of my gallery openings. I was showcasing emerging artists, people who deserved recognition but couldn't afford the fancy uptown galleries. Vincent walked in wearing a suit that probably cost more than my monthly rent, and he looked completely out of place among the paint-splattered students and struggling creatives. But he didn't seem uncomfortable. He studied every piece like it mattered, asked thoughtful questions, and when he looked at me, it felt like I was the only person in the world. He pursued me like I was the rarest masterpiece he'd ever encountered. Flowers every day, handwritten notes. He'd show up at the gallery just to bring me coffee and talk about art, even though I knew he had billion-dollar deals waiting for his attention. Within 3 months, we were inseparable. Within 6, he proposed on the rooftop he owned, with the entire city sparkling below us like scattered diamonds. My little sister Claire was overjoyed. She was 25, trying to make it as an actress, doing the audition circuit and barely scraping by. We'd always been close. After our father left, it was just us and Mom, and Claire and I became each other's best friends. When Vincent came into my life, Claire treated him like the brother she never had. She told me constantly how lucky I was, how perfect we were together. When he proposed, she cried harder than I did. But looking back now, I realized I'd been ignoring the whispers in my gut. The way Vincent needed to know where I was all the time, disguised as caring. How he pushed for a quick engagement, a fast wedding. "Why wait when you know it's right?" he'd say. And it sounded romantic then. Claire had been distant those last few weeks too, canceling our usual sister dinners, always busy with auditions. And my mom, bless her, she'd asked me once if I was sure about the prenup Vincent's lawyer had drawn up. I'd brushed her off, too in love to see clearly. The wedding was planned for a Saturday in October. We'd rented out this beautiful estate with gardens that looked like something from a dream. 200 guests, designer dress, the works. Vincent spared no expense, and I kept thinking how lucky I was that this powerful, successful man chose ordinary me. That Saturday morning, I woke up alone in our hotel suite. Vincent's side of the bed was cold. There was a note on his pillow. "Business call, couldn't sleep, didn't want to wake you. Can't wait to make you my wife. V." I smiled, thinking how dedicated he was, taking calls even on our wedding day. I padded to the bathroom, still half asleep, planning to shower and start getting ready. That's when I saw it. A phone charging on the counter. Not Vincent's usual phone. A second one. I'd never seen it before. I wasn't the jealous type. I'd never snooped through anyone's things in my life. But something made me pause. The phone buzzed. Then again. Then 3 more times in a rapid succession. The screen lit up each time, and even from a distance, I could see the name Claire. My stomach dropped before my brain could catch up. I picked up the phone with shaking hands. No password. It opened right to the messages. What I read in the next 5 minutes destroyed everything I thought I knew about my life and my family. Claire, can't believe she still doesn't know. Tonight changes everything. Vincent, once we're married, the trust fund transfers. Give me 6 months like we planned. Claire, then we disappear together, start over somewhere warm? Vincent, she'll be destroyed, but we'll be set for life. You've played your part perfectly, baby. I sat down on the cold bathroom floor. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone, but I kept scrolling, kept reading, even though every word felt like a knife. They'd been together for over a year, a full year before Vincent ever walked into my gallery. Every message was there, laid out like a blueprint of my destruction. Claire had told Vincent about our grandmother's will. When Grandma died 2 years ago, she'd left me $50 million in a trust fund. The catch was I could only access it after I got married. It was her old-fashioned way of ensuring I'd be settled and stable, as she put it. Claire knew about it because we'd laughed about it together, about Grandma's outdated views on marriage. Except Claire hadn't been laughing with me. She'd been calculating. The messages showed everything. Claire had described my personality to Vincent, told him exactly how to win me over. My love of art, my dedication to undiscovered talent, my romantic nature, my trusting heart. She'd given him a manual on how to make me fall in love. And then she'd coached him through the entire relationship. When to push, when to pull back, what gifts would mean the most. There were photos, too. Vincent and Claire together, kissing in her apartment, on a beach somewhere tropical, in hotel rooms, all time-stamped from the past year. Some from just weeks ago, while I was busy planning our wedding, picking out flowers and tasting cakes like an idiot. The business trips Vincent took monthly, he was with her. The times Claire was too busy for our sister dates, she was with him. They'd built an entire relationship in the shadows of my life, and I'd been too blind to see it. I found the real plan buried in messages from 3 months ago. After the wedding, Vincent would have legal access to my trust through a clause in the prenup. His lawyer had written it specifically for this, something about joint investment opportunities and marital asset management. I'd signed it without reading carefully because I trusted him, because his lawyer said it was standard, because Vincent had assets worth far more than mine, so why would he want my money? Except he did want it. They both did. Vincent would slowly drain the account through investments that would fail, businesses that would collapse. In 6 months, the money would be gone, funneled into offshore accounts, and then they'd disappear together. Vincent would divorce me, claim his own businesses had suffered, leaving me with nothing. Claire would quit acting, say she'd gotten an opportunity abroad. They'd meet up somewhere warm and live off my grandmother's legacy while I picked up the pieces of my shattered life. The worst part was reading Claire's messages about me. She's so trusting it's almost sad. She actually believes you love her. It's adorable. My sister always was the naive one. I don't know how long I sat on that bathroom floor. Long enough for my legs to go numb. Long enough for the shock to fade into something colder, sharper. Something that felt like steel forming in my chest. At some point, I heard myself laugh. Not a happy sound, a bitter, broken sound that scared me a little, because I realized something in that moment. They'd made a mistake. They underestimated me. They thought I was weak, trusting, naive, and maybe I had been, but that version of Natalie was gone. She died on the bathroom floor of a luxury hotel suite, reading messages that revealed her entire life was a lie. The new Natalie was someone different, Someone who'd been betrayed by the two people she loved most. Someone who had nothing left to lose and everything to prove. I looked at my watch. 6 hours until the ceremony. 6 hours until I was supposed to walk down the aisle and hand my life over to these people. I stood up, washed my face, looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes looked different, harder, good. I took screenshots of everything, every message, every photo, every single piece of evidence. Then I put Vincent's phone back exactly where I'd found it, still charging like I'd never touched it. Then I made a call to my lawyer. Not Vincent's lawyer friend, my actual lawyer, the one I'd hired quietly 2 weeks ago when something in my gut told me to protect myself. Funny how things work out. Richard answered on the second ring. I told him everything, sent him the screenshots. Emergency meeting in 1 hour at his office. He didn't ask questions, just said he'd be ready. My second call was to my mom. She answered worried, thinking something was wrong with the wedding. Something was wrong, I told her. Everything was wrong. When I explained, she went quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "Tell me what you need me to do." My third call was to the private investigator I'd consulted 3 weeks ago. Another gut feeling I'd been ashamed of. Turned out my instincts were better than my conscious mind. He'd already been digging into Vincent's background. What he'd found made my blood boil even hotter. Vincent had done this before. Twice. 2 other women, both wealthy, both left devastated and financially ruined. He'd changed his methods each time, gotten smarter. The pattern was clear once you knew to look for it. Short courtship, quick marriage, money disappears, he moves on. He was a professional, and my sister had willingly become his accomplice. By 9 a.m., I had a plan. By 10, the pieces were in motion. By noon, I was getting my hair and makeup done, looking like the perfect bride. Claire came to help me get dressed, playing the devoted sister one last time. "You look so beautiful, Nat," she said, adjusting my veil. "Vincent's so lucky." I looked at her in the mirror. This person I'd shared a childhood with, who I'd protected, encouraged, loved unconditionally. "Thanks, Claire," I said softly. "I'm glad you're here for this." She had no idea what I meant. She just smiled and hugged me, and I felt nothing. The love I'd had for my sister had died with that version of me on the bathroom floor. Downstairs, guests were arriving. Vincent was greeting people, playing the perfect groom, shaking hands with business associates who had no idea they were witnessing his latest con. He texted me, "Can't wait to marry you, my love." I replied, "Me too. It'll be unforgettable." The ceremony was beautiful. I'll give them that. The gardens were perfect, flowers blooming everywhere, string quartet playing softly. I walked down the aisle alone. I'd insisted on it, said it was a modern choice. Really, I didn't want anyone else contaminated by what was about to happen. Vincent stood at the altar looking handsome and sincere. Claire stood beside me as maid of honor, holding my bouquet. If you'd seen us, you'd have thought we were the picture of happiness. The officiant went through the traditional words. We got to the part where he asks if anyone objects. He barely paused, just a formality. "I do," I said clearly. The whole garden went silent. Vincent's face showed confusion. Claire's showed concern. Everyone else just looked shocked. "I object to this marriage," I said, my voice steady. I reached into my bouquet and pulled out the printed messages I'd hidden there. "Because the groom and my maid of honor have been having an affair for over a year. Because this entire relationship was designed to steal my inheritance. Because I'm not actually the naive fool they thought I was." I started reading the messages out loud. Vincent's face drained of all color. Claire tried to move, but my actual friends, the ones I'd quietly warned, blocked the exits. She wasn't going anywhere. Behind me, a screen lowered. My technical friends started the presentation. Photos of Vincent and Claire together, messages between them planning my destruction, bank records showing Vincent's previous cons, statements from his other victims, women I'd tracked down and invited to witness this ghastly wedding. Vincent tried to speak, started spinning some lie. I cut him off. I've already filed a police report. They're waiting outside. Fraud, attempted theft, conspiracy. Your lawyer? Turns out he's been disbarred in 2 states. My real lawyer has everything documented. Claire was crying now, mascara running down her face. Natalie, please, I can explain. Don't, I said, and my voice could have cut glass. Don't say my name. Don't try to explain. You're not my sister anymore. You died the moment you decided to destroy me for money. I looked at Vincent, this man who'd pretended to love me, who'd kissed me and promised me forever while plotting my ruin. You wanted my grandmother's money? You'll never see a penny. The prenup you had me sign? Voided by fraud. Everything you tried to set up? Dismantled. And now everyone here knows exactly who you are. The guests were stunned. Some of Vincent's business partners were already leaving, pulling out phones, distancing themselves. His reputation was crumbling in real time. In his world, reputation was everything. I'd just destroyed his. The police came in then. I timed it perfectly. They arrested Vincent on fraud charges. Claire, too, as an accomplice. As they were led away in handcuffs past 200 witnesses, Claire looked back at me one last time. I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no anger, nothing. They were strangers now. That was 6 months ago. The legal proceedings are still ongoing, but Vincent's real estate empire collapsed within weeks. Investors pulled out, deals fell through. Everything built on his false reputation came tumbling down. They found more victims, more schemes. He's facing serious prison time. Claire tried to reach out a few times from jail. I blocked every attempt. Our mother supported my decision. Some betrayals can't be forgiven, and I've made peace with that. As for me, I'm better than I've ever been. I opened my own gallery, bigger than before, more successful. That $50 million from Grandma, I kept half for security and donated the rest to organizations that help fraud victims rebuild their lives. The women Vincent destroyed before me, I helped them get lawyers, helped them fight back. We formed a strange kind of family, bonded by survival. I learned something that morning on the bathroom floor. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is actually the best thing. It shows you who people really are. It shows you who you are. I thought I was weak because I was trusting, but trust isn't weakness. Betrayal just revealed their weakness, their emptiness. I date now, carefully. I trust my instincts more than pretty words. And I know my worth isn't in what I can give someone, it's in who I am. That wedding day, I thought my world was ending. Instead, it was the beginning of my real life. The life where I'm not naive Natalie who sees the best in everyone. I'm the Natalie who survived, who fought back, who refused to be a victim. If you're watching this and you've been betrayed by someone you trusted, I want you to know something. You're stronger than you think. Those warning signs you're ignoring, listen to them. That gut feeling that something's wrong, it's usually right. And if someone shows you who they really are, believe them the first time. You deserve people who genuinely love you, not people who see you as a target or a meal ticket. Real love doesn't make you doubt yourself. It doesn't ask you to ignore your instincts. It doesn't require you to be blind. If this story resonated with you, or if you've experienced betrayal from someone you trusted, you're not alone. Share your story in the comments if you feel comfortable. This community is here to support each other. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications because I share real stories about real people every week. Hit that like button if you want more content like this. Remember, you're stronger than you think, and you deserve people who genuinely love you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.